Well, cool. Do we want to start a show?
Yes.
Well, let's start a show. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I believe that's the phrase. To this podcast, wherever this podcast may find you. I'm your co-host, Gavin.
And I am your other co-host, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Hi.
Welcome to my apartment.
Yes, it is an apartment, and it is yours.
Yes, in some form.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting a podcast.
Yes, we are.
How crazy is that?
It's a little interesting, being that most of the work we've done so far is video.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you feel in this super haggard setup?
I think as long as it works, nobody can argue because there's nobody filming us. So for all that you know on the other end of these microphones, this is a brilliant studio.
I mean, if it's dumb and works, is it still dumb?
That's the age-long question that nobody can answer.
Hopefully this works. We're definitely not in a final stage at all. This is very much an infant stage of the podcast. And how I've mentioned in intros before, I kind of wanted us, I want us to be able to put more content out into the world. Using a podcast as a platform can help us, honestly, both work on our presentation skills and putting words together, and also give you all something to listen to and enjoy in between our 1 month apart programming on YouTube.
Yeah, and so a little bit of background on this. We have a little bit of more of a broad idea with this. There will be a lot of car shenanigans because obviously that is a lot of what our stuff already does.
I mean, we're kind of car guys.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of car people.
It's literally in our blood. But there may be more interesting things to talk about. We may be talking about some business, some watches that Gavin loves to collect.
I do. But you also do detailing, and that's your job, and I can recount war stories of my flower delivery.
Yes, and there's business detailing, there's watches, as we've already mentioned, there's potentially I have old trucking regalias that I could definitely tell about. I have lots of stuff. Gavin has lots of stuff as well. He can tell you about we'll have a section called flower misdeliveries. I'm kidding. Where Gavin delivers to the wrong house. Stay tuned till next time to find out what happens.
Just today, I was delivering to Goldman Sachs, and the sender told me to go to 222 South Main. And I guess there's 2 Goldman offices in downtown here.
Jeez.
And yeah, there's one at 222, and there's one at 111.
Who the hell planned this shit?
That's one of my many questions for sure. And I was at 222, and I called the reception for the person. It's not just reception at like the front of the building. There's multiple receptions, and there's security and many layers to this. And I called the reception for this person I was supposed to deliver to, and they're like, "Oh, you're at 222. No, you have to come up the street." And I didn't even drive. Like, I actually just walked with this concrete bowl and a bunch of water and flowers in it, walked it up, and the people at 111 didn't know what I was talking about either. Long story short, everything got delivered to the right person. It's fine. I still have my job, so it's cool.
I can relate so many times from the days when I was a delivery driver and would show up with plumbing supplies is what I used to deliver. And, hey, I'm supposed to deliver this to, we'll call him Bob the plumber. And I get this blank stare of, who? What? And then I'll try to call them and they won't answer. And then it'll be like, sorry, I'm leaving these here. Give them to Bob. Who's Bob? I don't care. You find out. This is where they're going.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. The world of delivery is kind of a crazy place, but
it always gives you plenty of tales.
Yes.
So anyways, that's kind of what we'll be doing, is a lot of different stories of what happens. And we hope to have guests. We hope to make this a very legitimate and interesting podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm connected in the local car scene here in Salt Lake City, as are you. We know actually a lot of the same people.
Yes.
But a lot of those people we would love to have on as guests, and I'll invite you all into my cozy little downtown abode.
Yeah, we have a single extra chair.
We have another one over there by the guitar at my desk.
Yeah.
Actually, that'll be your chair because you ripped the thing in the seat cushion.
Buy you in a seat.
That's Justin's seat now. That's the Justin chair. Justin throne.
I'm going to bring a Sharpie next time and mark that as my own.
J.
So that we'll have a guest in here, and I'll come in and just rip them out from the chair.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Anyways, well, Justin, what the fuck is up? What's good?
Today, not too much. Kind of a crazy weekend. Got my truck tinted. Thank God. It's not as hot anymore.
Nice.
And
I got to get mine tinted too.
yeah. Today has just been Ubering. So I'll give you a little background of where I'm at because that'll kind of tell you what I might be talking about over these next several episodes. I have recently started a company that right now just does mobile detailing for cars, semis, whatever you have that needs to be cleaned that's on wheels.
Yeah, because you've done boats, you've done semis, you do a lot of cars.
Yes.
There's a story I recall you talking about an E39. Not an M5, but an E39 BMW.
Yes, and this car actually predated the actual company, but it's a car...
Not by long.
Not by long, but it's a car that a friend inherited that he kind of just inherited for free that was already fairly disgusting from the previous owner, and then he effectively had it being used by a bunch of his guys at his shop, and it naturally got trashed with month-old spilled Coke and etc. And that one was a horror story that turned into a glory story of actually coming clean, which was surprising. But I can show you that there was probably about 2 gallons of muddy, nasty water that I extracted out of that carpet, and that car was surprising it got to the state that it was in.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the after photos, and they've been almost like it didn't happen.
Surprisingly, yes. Detailing is an art, and you never know what's going to happen or how it's going to come out till you get in there and just start trying it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's how a lot of life works, though.
Mm-hmm. It's, you'd miss all the shots you don't take, basically. But, yeah, so right now that company is very new. And with that company...
Yeah, you've been up for a couple months, right?
Mm-hmm, since June 15th. So we're coming up on 2 months.
Yeah.
And so right now, being as any business owner knows, it's, although I started out with no debt and a great business situation as far as that's concerned, I still am not to the point where I'm making enough money to provide for myself and the business. Because when you create a business, you're almost creating another person to take care of because that business has to have its own money.
Right, especially when you take on employees. Hold that. I'm going to just try to fix something here because I don't want this microphone picking up you. And it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
If it actually is.
Gotcha.
And I can edit this bit out.
Edit that out.
Fix it in post.
That sounding good now?
I think we're okay. It's hard to tell because that mic is also pointing like right at me, and the thing is, if like
I can't point it more this way, otherwise it'll rustle on my shirt.
I know, that's the problem. We got to figure out our mic situation. How much are just handheld mics?
You can get a decent performing handheld mic for $40. I mean,
okay.
You don't need to spend big buku bucks. So
we might have to start with that. Because, just get an XLR mic. Mm-hmm. Because this has 2 XLR inputs anyway.
Yeah, just the simple XLR, honestly, worked just fine.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to...
We were talking about detailing.
Yes. So, yeah.
We're talking about Chaos Theory, which is the name of your brand.
Yes, Chaos Theory is the name of the business. And so, as any business owner knows, you have 2 entities to take care of at the time you actually create an entity. So not only do I have to try to think, okay, what do I need to make money-wise, but the company also has to make its own money to either grow, replenish product, expand, advertising, employees, etc. So, right now in my downtime, since the company doesn't quite provide enough for both of us, I go out and do Uber and Lyft to kind of fill income.
In your 2019 Toyota Tacoma.
Yes, in my Toyota Tacoma, which does get...
It's a 19, right?
It's a 19, yeah.
Okay, good.
Which does get some interesting looks, because I think most people are used to, not ship boxes, but most people are used to their Uber showing up in just kind of econo boxes.
Well, yeah, what's the highest, the Uber that the Uber that pulls up most that I've noticed is either Camry, Kia Forte. Yep. I've seen a lot of small Kias and things like that. I was in a Soul once. It's been pretty dynamic for me in general, but yeah, a lot of it is like Corollas,
Civics,
Accords, things of that nature.
And so, but
which makes sense. It fits a lot of people for the miles per gallon it gets.
Yeah, and I wish that I could have gotten film of my prior car that I used for Uber and Lyft, which was the Kia Stinger.
I was gonna say, if you're tuning into this podcast, you probably already know about Justin Stinger, and you probably don't. You also might think that I own the Tacoma.
Gavin trolled a lot of people.
I know.
So
that's way too effective.
Yeah, I mean, but it was even more funny with the Stinger, because I would pull up and people would do a double take and a triple take and that's not my Uber, is it?
Right.
Because I mean, if you don't look at the Kia badge on the front, you really don't know what it is if you don't know cars that much, because it looks like something sleeker. And so all they see is Kia on their Uber thing, and they just think, oh, it's some small Kia.
It's like some Optima or Forte or whatever.
So then I pull up with that, and they get inside. They're like, damn, what the hell you been doing, bro? Selling drugs on the side or something? Yeah, no.
You literally had someone ask you that.
I did. I literally had somebody ask me if I sold drugs because they didn't expect that.
You're like, no.
No, I sell no drugs, and I partake of none. I'm a weirdo. But
I mean, in this state, you're definitely not a weirdo.
yes, in this state, I'm not. But yeah, it's that's kind of where my life is at this point. So business owner / Uber Lyft driver / general weirdo.
I mean, I will agree that you're a fucking weirdo sometimes.
Yes.
But I mean, I kind of am too, though. That's kind of why we, gravitate towards each other.
Kind of, yeah. We kind of play off of each other's weirdness.
Yeah, I quite enjoy that. Yeah, and I guess if you want to, dive into my background, I've been creating automotive media for the past 6 years as a photographer, videographer, podcaster for now the Camcast, which is under Cam Auto Mag. And I had my own thing a few years ago called the Gearless Podcast, which is funny because just before getting into this idea of having another podcast and recording this, I listened to a few episodes of the old Gearless Podcast. I'm like, that is definitely a 22-year-old Gavin and not a 26-year-old Gavin. A lot has happened in between then and now, which is interesting. There are some similarities, though. There were some similarities, but yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I work for a local flower company, a little flower shop and sugar house, and I drive an NV200 van around and deliver flowers. And if I do my job correctly, make people happy. So there's that.
As long as you're not delivering a set of funeral flowers, I guess.
Oh, yeah. And normally when I do that, I actually don't, if everything goes well, I actually don't see anyone that's at the funeral, and I just go see the people at the mortuary.
How awkward would that be if you were delivering flowers while the funeral was going?
I've had that. That's happened. Yeah, because how everything happened in the day, and I was told, oh, by the way, you have to go do this right now. I was like, thanks for telling me, I guess. But yeah, I walked in one time. It was just before it. I kind of made it sound like it was during like when everyone's quiet and the funeral is happening and I come barging in. It wasn't like that. There was a lot of commotion, a lot of things were going on, and I kind of just got in and got out.
Kind of just walked in with a vase of flowers, put it down, and just skedaddled.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, crazy. No.
I was, and the good thing about that was I wasn't actually wearing any of my obscene shirts, so that's good. Because I have a shirt that says "Broke AF." I have another one by the same people. They're called Steady Broke. My Depresso tee.
Yes.
Where it's the Starbucks, but it says Depresso. That's a favorite. What else do I have? Oh yeah, my political party shirt.
Yep.
with all the forefathers getting down. Getting down with their hater blockers or red solo cups and ghetto blasters, man.
That would have been great. That would have been fantastic. But of all things, at least you didn't interrupt a funeral of some poor chap.
Oh yeah.
But so that's effectively a little background on me and Gavin and what we do, and what you might hear. So today I'm going to have a small rant on people.
Oh no.
It'll be small. Trust me.
Well, we're at 18 minutes right now.
So it'll be small.
Okay.
People, and the only reason this comes up is I talked to not only Gavin, but two other people about this. Is
the other Gavin?
The other Gavin was kind of mentioned as well. But I talked to two other Uber-y, riders.
Gotcha.
About this today. There was a couple people that were also kind of in the media world that I happened to transport around today that, kind of mentioned something that goes on a day-to-day basis with kind of media creation, with entrepreneurs, with anything like this.
Are these people that I know?
No, these are
Okay.
just random people that I picked up. But
People I should know in media?
not really. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
kind of at our same level, just
Gotcha.
kind of entry to mid-level, just experimenting with things.
Sure.
But what basically happens is this, it's people don't give a shit about other people's time. And I'm not saying that this rant is going to eliminate that, but we'll look at it this way. So I run a detailing service. Effectively, something that, as you could think about, you could do by yourself fairly easily. It would take about an hour to 2 of your day, once a month, etc. And you'd probably never need to hire a detailer, only in crazy circumstances like I spilled milk.
Or there's that kind of person, and then there's the person, say like myself, that I don't really have the time or the patience to go out and buy chemicals and buy all the microfibers and take the time to detail my car, and and spills happen.
Yep.
The accidents happen, and when I go to the track, my car gets really dirty.
Yes.
From just getting in and out of the dust and all that stuff.
See, and people like you, Gavin, are the people that are good because they understand their car needs a clean. They understand those kind of things. But the people that have this idea, and you experience it in photography as well, that, oh, I can do that myself. Why would I pay you to do it?
I can just take photos with my iPhone.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
I can bokeh things with my iPhone, and it looks just as good.
Oh, I bought this filter, and it goes on it, and it works great. It's like,
So,
okay, good for you.
I've been fortunate enough to only have these questions be asked once or twice with detailing, but I kind of implore you, if you're contacting a professional for professional grade services, even if they're not a business and they're just doing it on the side, understand that when you're paying, say, $160 for a basic level detail, you're not paying for that time. You're paying for the chemicals that needed, the skill that is required. Same thing goes for photography.
And the transportation involved getting to where you are. If you live in Layton area,
yeah,
and if you have someone in Orem that's like, hey, bro, can you come detail my Civic?
There's an hour and a half each direction minimum of transport.
What would you charge for a destination fee of someplace of that distance?
Generally speaking, I try to make it pretty fair. I would love to try to make $20 an hour going each direction, but I don't do that.
Is that like a $40 to $50 fee?
The way it kind of works is anywhere in Salt Lake County, $20, anywhere in Summit County, about $35, and anywhere in Utah County, which is obviously the furthest of those three, especially going down towards Orem, you're talking about $40. Then that just covers my travel. It really just covers my fuel and just a little bit of time, but it's
Sure.
a very fair rate. But anyways, where this rant stems from is one person that contacted me. I gave her the price of $160 that I mentioned, and she came back with wait, how long does it take you to do these things? And I said, 3 to 4 hours, depending on what needs to be done. Well, that means you're making $40 an hour, and I think that's too much. I don't think that's something as much as you should be making.
Hey, lady, I'm not here to barter with you. I'm bargain with you.
And I had to kind of collect my thoughts for a minute because I obviously want to respond in a good manner. The initial knee-jerk response is well,
What I just said.
Yeah, exactly. But I just told her, look, you're hiring a professional to do this. I'm not making $50 an hour. That's what the company's making, and that includes the product and everything and the time getting to and from your place.
Sure.
But I think a lot of people tend to do this. They tend to, especially in this day and age where technology and things and, there's a lot of easily accessible equipment and stuff that you can take, including, like Gavin mentioned, even on your iPhone taking photos. They start to discount professional grade services.
Well, it's that, and it's also the people that are willing to do it for free. Mm-hmm. That's what, especially in photography.
Yeah. And I fight this in the detail world a lot, and you fight it just as much in photography. You find the people that do it part-time that don't need to make that full amount, and they're doing it for half the cost. And I'm sitting here thinking, I can't do it for half the cost.
Right.
It doesn't work, especially because when you count taxes and all that other stuff, I'm not making enough money to provide for both of us. And
you're basically having to provide for two people.
Exactly.
Effectively.
Exactly. And so when I look at it, the sad thing is, and this happens in your world as well, a lot of those people are still fairly skilled. It's not that those people produce subpar results. Their results are generally pretty good a lot of the times.
Decent, yeah.
Decent. And so the average consumer may not be able to tell the difference that well, but it puts a kind of a little bit of a tension on the relationship between somebody becoming full professional grade and somebody doing it on the side. Because that person on the side is like killing it as side work. But that person that's professional grade is like now hurting because they've set a precedent that things are cheaper than they actually are.
Which is really unfortunate.
It is. It is an unfortunate, thing, not just in business, but kind of in general. Even if you're doing things on the side, the way that I look at it is this. You can give a little bit of a rate cut, but if you're doing it on the side and you're doing a very good job, charge what you're worth. Because it doesn't, you may be giving them a discount, it may be kind of a killer deal for you, but in the end, if you're charging what you're worth, it's only going to actually help the rest of the industry by being able to set kind of a good rate at everything, and you'll be making even better money.
There's a post that so my good friend Andrew Jackson, who I actually need to have on the show, he's a car guy, photographer. He's owned some pretty cool cars in the past, but he actually drives a really clean LS400 now, 97. I was like the fourth or fifth person to sit in the back seat ever. It was like cherry, super duper clean. He posted on Twitter that a start of a rant saying like, so you think me charging $200 for a set of photos is a lot of money, but you have this car with either like a wrap and coilovers and wheels and performance parts, and you put all this money in this car, but you don't think my $200 is worth it for quality media.
Yeah, and
so I took a screen cap of that and posted it on my Facebook. I was like, real talk, Andrew Jackson. And there were some people on both sides. Something that I thought was really interesting. Jamie, I'm not going to give his last name, but he's with the Park City Car Club in Modern Livery. Shout out to Jamie. Jamie has money. I'm not going to go really into the kind of wealth that he has, but Jamie has money. And he even commented and said, as a car guy, I feel like, $200 for a photo is a lot of money. It's like, well, no one's saying anything about one photo. We're giving you a set of photos. We're doing exteriors, interiors. Me personally, I throw in video at that point.
Yeah,
which then, I should raise my rates too.
And then there's also even the editing, which I think somebody thinks.
Oh, there's the pre-production time. There's the production time. There's post-production. There's the years of working and refining my craft. I have to continue to work to get inspired.
Yeah, and actually, I think where a lot of this comes from is in societal norms. We look at like what me and Gavin do. We spent years refining a craft.
Sure.
Many people have spent years going to college. Both cost amounts.
I've done both.
Yeah, and you've done both. Both of them cost amounts, either in money or time.
And time is money.
And time is money. And so a lot of people end up discounting that time spent. But like if you went to college and got a degree for something, like, oh, great, you're a professional, you can do it. Yes, but that's only one way to become a professional.
Sure.
So that's kind of one thing is, look, I just implore anybody that's on here, and luckily this isn't all the people. I've only been asked it twice. Most people are fairly good at it. But if you're hiring a professional service, understand that you're paying for professional results, and you're paying for somebody to maintain a company and run a small business.
Well, our good buddy Jason, with this Rawson Q1 that we've driven a couple of times now, he even spoke up in favor of of people actually charging what they're worth and saying, I'm not just going to take my car to anybody. I have two people that I want to go to for video content and for detailing, and it's these two people. And I have my recurring clients and favorites. You have yours. You've made some pretty good contacts in the last couple of months. For a startup, you've been doing pretty well.
Yeah, really don't have many complaints, especially since I've literally spent $0 on advertising. Oh, sorry, $50 on business cards. That is my advertising.
Wow.
Exactly. It has all been word of mouth between either Exhibition of Speed and Gavin, or I've had just family friends, things like that.
Sure. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, there have been a couple of times where I've seen someone post in the Park City Car Club, that RS5, for example.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I need a detail done. It's like, my buddy Justin will do it.
Yeah. And
he would love to get his hands on that car. And
you know what? It turned out fantastic, and I met a fantastic person in the process.
Actually, Ryan and Ray, our two GT3 owners, are huge fans of both your and my work.
As you know or may not know, with Exhibition of Speed, we also, whenever somebody allows us to take a car,
This is a perk of people letting us drive their cars. This is not something we normally do outside of the show.
no, exactly, and so
But we offer our services for free because we want to give the services of reviewing your car value to both you and us.
yeah, so you'll get, obviously from me, you'll get a full detail of that car. If you wanted a different car, that's fine. Effectively, you get a rain check voucher for if you want a free
One
detail.
free
You have it.
interior and exterior detail.
Yes.
And then from me, you get a set of photos and a 60-second video montage for that. That's social media friendly that you can post on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah, and that's effectively, I think, for both of us, kind of our shout out to the world, our advertisement. Because from both of those details, for instance, I have actually gotten paid gigs on the side of it.
Oh yeah, with Ryan and Ray. I mean, when Ray got his A7.
Yep, and that one's still a rain
Which is
check.
funny because Ryan also has an A7.
Yes.
The two white GT3 owners also have A7s. I mean, it's a really balanced garage,
Exactly.
frankly. But
And so we both, on both of those, I've gotten that. But that's how me and Gavin both play off of that. We both get great. We both get great fire trucks. Everybody, I don't know if you can hear that, but
apologies to. I hope everyone's okay.
I know. Well, somebody died. Anyways, moving on. But regardless, just know that if you're paying for somebody to provide services like that at a professional grade, you're paying for results, and you're paying for somebody to own and maintain a small business.
Right.
It's a lot harder than people think. People think you can just kind of coast through it. It's not difficult to start one. It's difficult to maintain and grow one.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of the mini rant for the day, is that, when hire small business. There's a lot of great big companies out there, don't get me wrong, but those big companies were once small companies. And the only way small companies succeed is by growing and maintaining a good set of clients.
Absolutely. Well, that's actually probably a really great way to end this one. Support the little guys. And we're both little guys, especially with podcasting.
Yay!
So if you'd like to listen to more of this, of the madness, hit that subscribe button. Whether you're on iTunes or Spotify or Google Play or Stitcher or however we'll get this out to the world. We are going to be on iTunes. That's a really easy fix. It's all the other outlets that we will be slowly trickling into. And I think we'll put this on YouTube as well.
Yeah, probably.
Give us more traffic to the YouTubes. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, hit that bell icon so you're actually notified about when we release new content. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to leave some thoughts in the comments, absolutely do so. Just had one recently that I thought was kind of humorous. That our first kind of negative comment on YouTube was, "You guys need to show more of the car and less of your face."
I guess you're not as beautiful as you think.
It's like, okay, you go do it, homie.
That was a good one.
You go try this. It's not as easy when you're traveling and it's super hot and humid in Michigan and you're just trying to crank through two cars at once.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to go check out what those cars were, go back in our videos. You'll figure it out. It's the Midwest stories or something about the Midwest.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's a show, right?
That is a show. And yes, please follow us. Again, this will be a very wide variety of things. We will probably touch on subjects you'll want to hear. So please follow us.
And actually, if you have subjects you want to hear us talk about, if you want to hear our thoughts on whether it be car buying advice, whether it's just car experience, if you have questions for Justin about detailing, about questions for me with photography, I might answer a couple of photography questions.
I mean, even me, you could ask about semis and you could ask about business. I mean, in general,
yeah.
There's plenty of
Ask about
things.
entrepreneurialism.
Yes, it's a terrible disease. I'm dead serious.
I mean, I have quite a few diseases. I have the watch disease, I have the car disease, I have the camera disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta feed the disease.
And actually, I just realized one last thing that we might have the potential to touch on, which I guarantee we will, is probably music. Because both me and Gavin can talk endlessly about music.
Yeah, we've had some editing sessions where we're waiting for something to render out or something, and we'll be like, start going down like a Devin Townsend rabbit hole. Or I'll be like, okay, my turn. We're going to talk about Foo Fighters now.
Exactly. Trust me, there's plenty to hear. So yes, please tune in. And we hope to hear from you guys soon.
All right, cool. Do we have an outro?
We don't. This is the outro. Sorry.